it's not a 49ers show unless we do our obligatory let's talk about Trey Lance, right? So he obviously got some playing time. There was a lot of good, a lot of bad, but your overall takeaways and analysis of Trey Lance and what you saw.
Okay, so if you ask me this question Saturday night, yesterday, and this morning, I'm going to tell you that I thought that Trey Lance played pretty good considering the fact that it was his first game in a couple of years and everything that they kind of went into it. You asked me now that I've been able to see some of the All-22. Again, I don't have All-22, so I just found somebody on Twitter that somehow was able to find it or you get it. And so I'm just kind of using their videos to make some points. And watching him on the All-22 is it's rough. It's rough. Didn't play very good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you because, and, you know, I think part of it is that, you know, Shanahan definitely came out and said, look, we didn't play to Trey's strengths. You know, we were putting him in the situations where he's shown the the weaknesses of his game. And they were trying to like see what he would do or at least give him game time, you know, experience in those roles. But there was time. I know a lot of people are just focusing on, you know, the deep throw to Sherfield and, you know, some of the throws that were missed, that were drop balls, because obviously the receivers dropped a lot of his passes. But I saw some timing issues. I saw him hold the ball a little bit too much. You know, obviously there was 2 interceptions that were dropped as well. I don't think that this is like he's a terrible quarterback, but I think he's obviously great. And, you know, the flashes that we saw were amazing. But overall, I would, you know, it made me pump the brakes a little bit and be like, okay, there is room for improvement here that we need to, you know, pay attention to at least.
Yeah, so let's go through a couple of them if we can.
Sure.
I want to really hit on this. I really want to hit on that first play that he did, that they ran, because it's concerning to me. And the reason it's concerning to me is that what I saw on that play when I watched the All-22 was the same stuff that I saw of him at the end of his college career at North Dakota State in the national championship game. And you see it on some of his film throughout his time in North Dakota State. And that's where he doesn't throw the ball when he has somebody between him and the receiver. And when you watch that play, that's a staple play of the 49ers offense. It's play action, deep drop, and it's all meant to look like you're going deep, and then the receivers cut it off and run curls at about 20 yards, 18 to 20 yards downfield. So that they're pushing downfield, and then they're stopping and running back. It's a play that the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan run quite a bit. It's a play that Alabama ran a lot, you know, with Steve Sarkisian there. And he hits his back foot, and he's looking to his left, and he's got pretty sure Sherfield on that side, and he's got him wide open. But he doesn't throw the ball. He then turns to his right, and he's got Brandon Ayuk wide open, and he doesn't throw the ball. Instead, he takes off scrambling and then finally throws the ball, and it hits him in the hands and drops it. And that's what everybody's focused on, right, is the drop by Ayuk. That play was screwed up the minute that he didn't throw the ball to Sherfield, because Sherfield's open. When you watched it on the All-22, if you go onto my Twitter, which you've already seen, he hits his back foot of that drop. Sherfield's got 10 yards, 12 yards maybe, between him and the linebacker who had bid on the run, that has his back to Lance, has no idea what's coming, and is sprinting in to try to get underneath him. And that action alone makes it so that Lance doesn't throw it over him. That's an easy throw. That should be an easy pitch and catch for any NFL quarterback to hit that ball over the top of that linebacker who has no idea that the ball's even coming. Same thing on the other side. The same thing's happening over there. That linebacker is sprinting back. He's a little bit more in the throwing lane, but if that ball's thrown on time, he's open. There's a definite throwing lane there. I don't know why he's holding onto the ball. So that's an issue. That's a problem. And that's something that we saw out of him at North Dakota, like I said, was that not throwing the ball when he has people in his field of vision between him and the receiver. And the reason it's such a big issue is I don't know how you coach him out of that, because it's an identity thing. Yeah, he's not believing that it's open behind him because he doesn't have that vision. He's not seeing through it. And it's a really hard thing to work. That's why I said, you know, I even tweeted out this morning, this guy needs to be on the field. If you made all this, you he needs to be on the field. You need to let him play through this. You need to know that you're going to take your lumps. Otherwise, if he's not going to learn it sitting on the bench, he's just not. And it came up again. It was let's go back. Let's go now. Let's jump to the sack. His next pass attempt, right? His second pass attempt. It's third down. He gets pressure. It's an all-out blitz. His eyes are locked on Charlie Warner, who's running a curl over the middle. That's that little tight end curl that they run with Kittle. He's running to the sticks and turning around. So he knows that he's going to have that guy at the sticks, right? It's against man. Well, everybody in the middle of the field blitzes, and he has 15 from his right to his left coming across with nobody around him. All he's got to do is drop the ball off, get the ball, find him, get the ball to him. It's a blitz beater. Get it to him and let him make a play, and it's a first down. Instead, he holds onto the ball because he's staring down the tight end, and then as soon as he realizes it's not there, he's getting some pressure. You can see his feet start to move real quick because all of a sudden he's panicking because he's going to get sacked. And you saw that happen again. On the drive following the Lenore interception. They get the ball, they run the ball into inside the 20. They call I think it was an empty formation where they move Gallman out to the left side. It's a blitz by Kansas City. That ball's got to come out quick. He's got Gallman running a quick little slant. It should be boom, get the ball out of your hand. Instead, he gets it, and he's holding it too long, and he gets sacked. That ball should have been out. It should have been a completion. It should be positive yardage. So there's a lot of things there that need to be worked on, that need to really be improved with this game. Otherwise, the Flyers are going to be in a lot of trouble. I understand that you're going to get the run game from them. I understand that you're going to see more play action from them, but you can only go so far with that. I mean, I think they could win games, but that puts you right back in that whole Kaepernick thing where there's issues, and there's definite issues with Trey Lance, and I'm a little disappointed because I know that he has the ability to make plays, but we didn't see it, and you can't say that it's the offensive line. Those are mistakes that he's making, not anybody in front of him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you pointed to the solution, right? The solution is, so one thing that people kind of aren't talking too much about when it comes to Trey Lance is how many times he threw the ball in college, right? He averaged maybe, I think, like 20 attempts, something around that number, whether it be a few below, a few after, a few more, but about 20 attempts per game. Like, it was a run-heavy kind of offense. He was used a lot in the running game. And it's not even for the 49ers, they average not, I guess, maybe 28, 29. They're always low, bottom 5 in how many pass attempts per game under Shanahan for whatever reason. And he doesn't get a lot of reps. He didn't get a lot of reps in college. He's not getting a lot of reps here with the ones for the 49ers. And the issues that you're talking about aren't they're not going to just be solved through watching tape, right? Eventually, he has to have the confidence in his ability to see it and then pull the trigger, right? It's a confidence thing. It's a comfortability thing. It's a timing thing, right? And that doesn't come from sitting on the bench with a clipboard, watching, seeing it through a tablet, and you have those real life scenarios have to be there. And I have nothing but faith that he's going to be able to learn this stuff because he has a lot of work ethic. He has all the tools like you talked about. He wants to be better. He's a humble student, but he needs reps. He needs to be out there. It's not like a year of sitting back watching Jimmy play. He's all of a sudden going to get this confidence, right? He needs to play. And, I know you're pointing these things out and you're saying you're a little bit disappointed, but do you feel like these are things that he can fix with more experience?
Some of it, I mean, I think so. I would hope so. I hope that he can. It's the eye thing is a tough one. And the reason it's going to be tough on him is because he hasn't done it a whole lot, right? I understand all these guys that were top draft picks this year, with the exception of Lawrence, were pretty much definitely the guys after the first two, Lance and the guys that were going to be there at 3, Lance and Jones and
Fields.
Fields, those guys haven't played a whole lot. And the problem is, how long is it going to take for him to be able to realize that he's got to get the ball over that linebacker to get that ball into to Sherfield? Is this something that he's going to be able to adjust and come out and do that against Los Angeles on Saturday? Is it going to take him the whole season? Will he ever do it? And that again, I mentioned it. I saw it, in January of 2020 when he played in the national championship game for North Dakota State. I saw it when I did the film breakdown with Grant. I was really hard on Lance, and one of the reasons was because he wasn't making those throws. He had guys wide open, and over and over again, he wasn't taking the throw. And we saw it on Saturday night, and unfortunately we saw it. And I didn't catch it originally because the game's happening so fast in front of you. You got to go back and watch it from the, really see it, because when you're there, you can't really see the full field quite the same, right? Depending on where you're looking. But yeah, you see it again, and yes, I hope he can get better. He's going to have to, right? He has to, and I know that he works hard. All that hard work that he put over the summer and in the off season was all about mechanics, and his eyes aren't going to change until he gets out there and starts doing it.
And when you say eyes, you're talking about vision and processing, right?
Yeah, he's got to be able to hit that back step. He needs to realize that that linebacker's got his back turned to him. So there's no way that he's going to make a play. He's sprinting back there, so he's in the way. As a quarterback, you hit there, and I can understand what it looks like. You're looking there, and it looks like he's covered. But the guys that are really good, the guys like, that dominate in this league, they can realize that, okay, that guy's turned his back. He's not where, there's a gap there because their eyes are just different where they can see the field better. So he knows that Tom Brady knows that he can get the ball over the top of that guy, and Mac Jones knows that he can get the ball over the top of that guy. Sorry, but that's just a fact of the matter. And I'm not saying Mac Jones is one of the top guys, but that's a play that Alabama ran over and over and over again. And he hit that ball. He could hit that. He would have hit that throw in his sleep.
Ouch. Harsh. Greg asked, did either of you notice Lance making any adjustments at the line of scrimmage? Is that something he's been working on, or is this another example of getting him more in-game reps?
Yeah, there was a couple of times where you could see him get up there and pull back from the center and make some adjustments and things like that. So yeah, he's that part of it. I'm not worried about the mental side of the game, the adjustments and really kind of understanding the offense. I think that Lance is going to thrive on the chalkboard, just like we've heard for everybody say. This kid's extremely smart. It's just, and we saw him do that. It's taking that though and applying it to the field, and so get him on the field and let him go. And I think you got to get him on the field with the starting offensive line so he's not running around like a maniac.
Yeah, and once again, we have to talk about that. If Trey Lance is your starter, what we saw, what would it be the game plan, right? They're going to be running a lot more of, the triple option maybe, or running more of quarterback option, read plays, things of that nature, which will loosen up the pass game for him, loosen up that rush, so on and so forth. So we kind of minimized it to his weaknesses and then put him in a situation where we can't give him any of his strengths, right? And so obviously we're going to see it gives, I guess, more of an opportunity to see him in a negative light. But I don't think you're saying this. I don't think you believe, oh man, he's the wrong pick or he's not going to be a great quarterback. You're just showing that, hey guys, let's pump the brakes a little bit. These are some aspects that we need to see, because I think you have him pretty high. Like, you expect him, you believe he has the ability to be one of the great quarterbacks in the league. This is what he needs to work on to reach that level. He's not there yet. Am I putting words in your mouth, or is that kind of what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's that. I don't think you're totally putting words in my mouth. I think he has the physical makeup and the ability to go out there and make really good plays, and he's done that at times. It's just there's definitely some weaknesses in his game, and he needs to improve on those. So you're right. I'm kind of saying pump the brakes a little bit in terms of I think there's some issues out there, and he's got to get better.
Well, let's not leave it on just doom and gloom, Jack. What is this? Are you Jesse right now? Is this Jesse Taylor?
Well, that's what's funny about it, right? I mean, I just wrote an article this morning that was in the Santa Rosa Press Democrat where I was saying, you got to get Trey Lance starters or starters. You got to get them reps with the starting offensive line, and I think that view hasn't changed. I'm very high on what he can bring to the table. I think he needs to he wants to push the ball down the field so much, but he also needs to remember, if I get the ball to this guy at the 5 yards past the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 8, if I can get him the ball on this pick play, he's going to catch it, and he's going to turn up the field, and he's going to get a first down. I don't need to sit in the pocket and try to drill this ball over the middle to Charlie Warner when I have my running back wide open with nobody within 10 yards of him over here on the side. Especially with the offensive line that he has in front of him, he's not going to be able to sit back there at times. So just understanding the process, understanding what it takes to get the ball down the field and make play after play after play and be consistent in that respect, it's going to be a process for him. And I'm excited for him. I really am. I think he has the potential. I don't want to. I know everything I'm saying sounds really harsh, and I agree with you on that. But I do think he has a lot of room to grow. And we still have a month to go, so let's see what happens. I think he can go out there against San Diego and just blow them up.
Right, and I mean we did see some flashes, and we gotta talk about the 80-yard bomb. But there's one thing, there were a lot of drops. Do you put that on the receiver, or does he need to learn a little more touch with his passes, because he obviously has a really strong arm, he has a cannon in there. When I'm seeing guys like Ayuk drop the ball, to me, I'm like, wow, I mean, Ayuk is, if Ayuk's dropping the ball, we're doomed, right? Because that's our best receiver. Is that a finesse thing, or was that just, the receivers are, made some mistakes?
Yeah, I think the one to Ayuk, maybe he could have taken a little bit off of that one because he had stepped up and thrown it to him. But even then, that was a tight window throw, because if you watch that ball, I think part of the reason why Ayuk drops it is he has 49 kind of flashing to his side. And I think he might have taken his eyes off of it for just a second because of that defender there. But the drop by Craycraft, he needs to throw that ball as hard as he can. That's kind of a crazy throw to even try to attempt that with the way that it crossed the field like he was doing and everything. But that should have been caught. He hit him right in the hands. The one to Richie James, that was his best throw of the game, and James dropped it. But that's James has done that all throughout training camp. He cannot catch throws from Trey Lance to at all. It seems like he really struggled with that, and we saw that on Saturday, and it killed the drive. So those 3 examples, I would say, aren't really on Lance. Those are more on the receivers just not being able to handle the ball.
Okay, now, before we jump off this topic, I do want us to talk about the wow moment that we saw out of Trey Lance. Can you break down a little bit about that touchdown throw and why the good Trey is somebody that gets everybody excited about, why that play makes a lot of people say he should be the starter?
Are you talking about the one to Sherfield?
Absolutely.
I don't know why that.
Jack, you need to be excited about this, because it was the play that was on loop after loop after loop on everything. It was on SportsCenter. It was on FS1. It was all over Twitter. Talk about it, my man.
That was a really. It was a great. It's a great throw from Trey Lance, and it was a great design. That was a play that they were expecting that ball to go to Trent Sherfield. They put that in, according to Sherfield, on Thursday. It was a play that they ran through at the hotel before they went to the game, and so on and so forth. That was a play that they were expecting to be able to hit, and he hit it. So you got to give him credit for that. That was you got to give him credit, because that was a great play design and called by Kyle Shanahan, and he made a play work. want positivity? I won't give you the rest of my answer. If
No,
you
I
want
want the rest. Now I'm intrigued. Jack, talk to me. What's the trepidation? Why are you hesitant to like glee about this play?
Jimmy Garoppolo made the same throw in 2019 against Green Bay.
So you're saying that this is a throw. This doesn't necessarily separate himself from Jimmy Garoppolo. This is another play that Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just kind of showing. This is just a play that any quarterback can make, kind of thing.
Well, Garoppolo made the throw against Green Bay I think it was in the regular season game. Play action. They're going towards the north end zone. Play action, rolls to his left, hits his back foot, throws it out to Kittle running across the field deep to the right, hits him in stride, and Kittle runs it in for a touchdown. It's not the same exact play, but and Garoppolo even said it wasn't the same exact play, but it's very similar. So again, I'm not trying. It was awesome because the kid's a rookie. But it's not like they were asking him to go out there and read the defense and make this throw. They said, here's what we want you to do. You're gonna have this guy here, you're gonna have this guy here. The deep shot should be open, hit him. He runs the play and he hits it. He executed it great. Give him a high five because he did it. Don't lose your darn mind over it, because it's not a lose your mind play. I'm sorry. So
basically, guys, to sum up Jack Hammer's point on Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo should be the starter. Is what Jack Hammer is saying. You heard it here first, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo should be the starter, according to the press Democrats, Jack Hammer.
I thought we were friends.
Before we leave, Steve had a question. Steve Supremo, which is more likely, 3 teams in the NFC West make the playoffs, or the Niners win a Super Bowl with a rookie QB and Jimmy G's 14% cap hit? This 14% number, got to give credit to Grant, man. He's put it out there, and everybody's an educated capologist when it comes to quarterbacks winning and cap percentages.
Yeah, I know that you're like, see, this is the thing. I'm the buzzkill tonight because I know how Sunil is, and he's the fan, and he's very positive. And I'm positive that the 49ers are going to have a good season. I also wouldn't bet on them to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a really good team, but I'm not going to bet. I understand. You've got this right here. You've got the no rookie quarterbacks ever won a Super Bowl. No quarterback with the salary cap number of Garoppolo's has ever won the Super Bowl. It gets even worse with Garoppolo because there's no guy that hasn't. There's only one quarterback in the history of the Super Bowl that's ever lost his first start as a quarterback and then gone back and as a starting quarterback again to start another Super Bowl that hasn't been an NFL Hall of Famer, and that's Craig Morton. He's the only guy that's been able to get to 2 Super Bowls after losing his first and not end up as a Hall of Fame quarterback. So that's a big knock on Garoppolo, and then you got Lance too, and Lance, no rookie's ever done that. And I think this team has a really good shot, and I wrote an article again going back to, it was last week, I think it was, and history's on Lance's side here because I really think that Lance can be like Ben Roethlisberger. If Lance starts this season, starts a lot of games this year, he can lead this team as far as the NFC Championship game, maybe even squeak into the Super Bowl, but I think really the NFC Championship game would be maybe the top. But that's what Roethlisberger did as a rookie, and if you remember, he came back the next year, won the Super Bowl, and then won it again a few years after that. So I wouldn't complain about that if that's what Trey Lance becomes.
For sure. I've said that somebody else, I don't know if it was you, but somebody else comped Trey Lance to Big Ben, and if you're getting two Super Bowls out of a career, that's a great career to have. And to answer Steve-O more directly your question, it's probably more likely that 3 teams in the NFC West make the playoffs. I do believe the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams all have a really great chance to make the playoffs.